I think we're going.
Okie dokie. So, coming to start in the posture of your choice. Either child's pose, or you can take a seated position. Feel free to try out both first. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out of the mouth. Using that deep sigh as a signal that you've arrived on your mat this evening. You've arrived to your practice. Knowing that you've carved this time out for yourself. This time and this space, you carved it all out. You've set this time aside. So what is it that brought you here this evening? What is it that brings you to practice yoga this evening? What is it that brings you to practice yoga every single time that you step onto your mat? Regardless of what kind of practice you take. Why is it that you show up time and again? And whatever that is, that's your own personal intention. Your personal intention for your lifelong practice. But for each practice, each time that you step on your mat. Our collective intention this evening and throughout the next couple of weeks as we practice together is Svadhyaya, which translated from Sanskrit to English essentially means self-study or the education of the self. So when we think about that on our mat, that is, at least for me, why we come to our mat, why we practice. Your yoga teacher, whether that's me or another teacher, we're not actually here teaching you. We're just guiding you into the right direction of finding yourself, of finding whatever it is that you came for to the mat. All we ask is that you stay with the process. You stay with the posture, with the breath, and with the mind. There's that age-old saying that we learn something when the going gets tough. That's when there's a great opportunity to learn about ourselves. Which, if you think about it this year, all those curveballs that have been thrown at us this year, I don't think there's anyone who can't say that they've learned something about themselves this year. So rather than beating yourself up if you discover something less desirable, try to accept your limitations. Try to practice tolerance towards yourself, whether that's towards your physical body or whatever's going on in the mind space. So as we practice this evening, as we move through our asana practice, I will keep asking you, what do you notice? I will ask you to check in with the mind, with the breath, and to keep coming back to your intention. Take a deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out of the mouth. Begin to peel your way out of whichever position you've taken. If you're in child's pose, lifting your way up gently, moving in any way that feels right, anything that feels natural. This is about you. And in your own time, taking the legs out long in front of you. Pointing the toes away from the body. Flexing the toes towards the face. Feeling as though you're really pushing the heels away and feel a stretch down the backs of the legs. And release. Coming into a neutral position with the legs and feet. Take the left hand down by the side. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And as you exhale, lean towards your left. Really pushing down through that right sitting bone. Maybe you gaze underneath the right armpit. Inhale, lift up, switching sides. Reaching down through the left sits bone. Inhale, coming up to center. And exhale, take a really passive forward fold, letting the forehead just face to wherever it faces. Check in with the body. Are you holding on to anything? Feel yourself actively let go. And on an inhale, peel your way back up. We'll take that once more, but a little more actively. So point the toes towards the sky, engaging through the legs, left hand down, right arm up. And on an exhale, lean. Maybe you come even further, bringing the elbow down towards the ground. Keeping the legs active. Deep stretch down the right side body, pushing down into the right sitting bone. Inhale to lift up and exhale over to the other side. Inhale to lift up and exhale. Take an active Paschimottanasana. So let the toes continue reaching to the sky. Feel as though you're bringing the bottom rib towards the thighs. Sending the breath into the back ribs. an inhale, release and come up, bringing the soles of the feet with you, coming into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. So soles of the feet are touching. If this is too much on the hips too soon, then just let the feet come further away from the pelvis. Take an inhale and find length through the crown. And as you exhale, bring the heart towards the feet. The neck stays in line with the spine. You can use the elbows to push the knees further towards the ground if that's where you want to be. Inhale, slowly lift up. Take the right sole of the foot to the floor, the left foot out long. Again, toes to the sky, and take a twist towards that right knee. Taking your drishti over the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, release. Taking a counter twist towards the left. Maybe here you want to come up, raising the hips up to the sky and the right hand up and back behind you. Being inquisitive, all I'm offering is simply that, offerings, suggestions. As you exhale, release the seat back down, come into neutral and switching sides, right foot out, left sole of the foot down. On an exhale, you're taking a twist to your left, drishti over the left shoulder. Exhale, come into that counter twist. I nearly said counter twist, I don't know what that is. Taking the left arm, the right hand, down to the ground. Option is to come up once more on this side. And as you exhale, slowly lower the seat back down. Bring both knees in, cross the ankles over and push back into your downward facing dog. And as ever here, come into your version of down dog, moving as you see fit, letting go of what you expect the posture should look like. This is your body. You know this better than anyone else. If you have Ujjayi breath in your practice, begin to engage it now. And you can use that whispering sound of the breath to be your focus of your practice. I really want to encourage you this evening to flow, to let go of what I'm saying and to just feel. On an inhale, look forward, and as you exhale, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bringing the belly to the thighs. Let the head hang heavy so you're in a ragdoll position. The knees can be as bent as you like. Release the hands. Push into the soles of the feet to rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale. Exhale, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back. Flowing through your variation, whether you're taking chaturanga or lowering the knees. On an inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, release the chest back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Once more. Inhale, chest rises. And as you exhale, push back towards child's pose and take it to down dog. I'll be guiding you this evening through sequences that you'll be familiar with the aim that you can focus the mind much easier. You can tune in, turning inwards, and focus on your intention. On an inhale, look forward. Exhale, stepping to the top of the mat. Push into the feet. Inhale to rise. Exhale, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Shoulders away from the ears. Unclenching the jaw. Belly soft. Gentle lift of the kneecaps to engage the quads. And feeling every bit of your footprint. Coming into Utkatasana on your next inhale. Taking the seat back. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Staying in your seat, twist towards your right so that the left elbow is hooking over the right thigh. Spin the heart to face the right. Inhale. Exhale, release. Coming back to that Tadasana. Stepping the left foot back. Open out, Virabhadrasana 2. Again, soft shoulders, soft jaw. Find your drishti. Pass the right middle finger. Inhale. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale. Exhale, coming through Virabhadrasana 2, all the way to extended side angle. Focus the mind on the footprints. Finding that strength throughout the legs. On your next inhale, coming into a high lunge, so pivot on that back foot to the ball of the foot. And as you exhale, soften into it. Bring your awareness to the sole of the right foot once more and step into the top of the mat, finding your Tadasana once more. And listening to the breath. On your next inhale, Utkatasana. And bring the palms of the hands to meet at the heart center. And taking that twist towards the left, right elbow, hooking over left thigh. Keeping the knees in line with one another so that the hips are square. On an inhale, release, coming back up towards your Tadasana. And opening out straight into Virabhadrasana 2, right foot steps back. Shoulders are soft. Take your drishti to the left middle finger. Amy's finally let me have the heating on, so I'm warm for once. Inhale. Exhale, reach the left fingers up for Peaceful Warrior. Send your awareness on a journey throughout the legs and notice what's going on. Letting go of any of those preconceived ideas of whether you like a posture or dislike it. Inhaling up through Vira 2, straight into extended side angle. Your awareness comes now to the sole of the left foot and pivot on the back foot to come into your high lunge. That left foot maintaining your stability. As you exhale, find softness. The weight's going to come forward into that left foot as you step back into your Tadasana. Exhale. Your choice here if you want to flow through a vinyasa or if you want to just hold your mountain pose. We'll meet back here. If you're coming with me, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower your variation. Inhale, shoulders are back. Exhale, down dog. Inhaling to look forward. Exhale, stepping to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heart center. Finding that Tadasana once more. Maybe closing down the eyes. As you find your adjustment throughout the body, you might notice that you start to wobble ever so slightly. Maybe you notice what happens to the core muscles as you do. Notice if the breath starts to change now as we're holding this posture. Before we move into the next sequence, I invite you to remind yourself of your intention and to take a deep breath in and a deep sigh out. We'll take that twice more, but if you want to take lion's breath with me, no one's around, no one can see you, the beauty of practicing on Zoom. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, let it out. Once more. Blinking the eyes, gently open. We're going to take a moon salutation. So as you inhale, the arms sweep up. You clasp the hands, really reaching up through the fingers and pushing down simultaneously through the heels. Inhale. Exhale, take a lean towards your left, stretching down the right side body, pushing into the right heel. Inhale back to neutral and exhale over to the right. Inhaling back up to center. Stepping the left foot back, coming into a goddess pose. Nice. Feel free to take a mudra here. Feel as though you're tilting the pelvis ever so slightly forward. Finding that awareness of the footprints again. And on an inhale, push into the heels and you're coming up almost into a star shape. Pivot on that back foot and the front so the front toes are facing the front. Setting up for Trikonasana. Take an inhale to reach forwards. And as you exhale, tilt at the pelvis. If you have any blocks handy or a stack of books, now might be the time to use them. If you want to challenge your balance, maybe you take your gaze up towards the left thumb. Inhale. Exhale. Take your gaze towards the right foot. Bring both hands down to the mat or to blocks either side. Pivot onto the back foot slightly and step in, coming into pyramid pose. So here you want the hips to be square. So if to do that you need to heel toe the right foot further out like I do, then do it. There's no right or wrong way. But having the hips square might help you to feel a greater stretch down the back of the right leg. Just finding what works for you. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, wiggle that back foot further away and we're coming into a low lunge. Reaching the collarbones and the heart forward, shoulders are away from the ears. Pull that left heel further away from the torso. Pivoting towards your left on your next inhale. So you're coming into a Skandasana shape. So the left heel is down, toes to the sky. Maybe you want to take a balance here and bring the hands to heart center. On an inhale, we'll come through a central squat, coming all the way to the back for Skandasana at the back of the mat. So right heel down, right toes up. And just become aware of what's going on this side. For me, I'm right-handed and do everything on the right side, but actually I've got a bit more stability on this side today. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, continue to pivot towards the left, so you are now facing the back of the mat, and come once more into that low lunge. Option, of course, is always to bring the back knee down if you wish. Collarbones reaching forwards. As you exhale, take your hips up and back and maybe step the back foot in and out to find your pyramid pose. Use whatever props you need here. Feel as though you're bringing the bottom ribs towards the thighs. Pulling the right hip forward and the left hip back. The next time you inhale, peel that right hand all the way up for Trikonasana. Adjusting the feet as you need to. On an inhale, lift all the way up, coming through to your goddess once more. Taking deep, strong breaths. On an inhale, push into the heels, straighten through the legs. Pivot towards the top of the mat and step back into your Tadasana. Reaching the arms up on an inhale. And as you exhale, leaning towards the right, pushing the left heel down. Feeling the expansion of the left ribs as you deeply breathe in. Inhale to lift through center and continue all the way over on your exhale. Sending that breath over to the right ribs. Inhaling up through center and stepping the right foot back, coming into that goddess pose. Push into the heels to straighten through the legs. Set yourself up for Trikonasana, so left toes face the top of the mat. Back foot is almost in a warrior position. Inhale to reach forward and exhale, tilt at the hips. Pushing into the sole of the left foot and feel what happens to that leg. Inhale. Exhale, find your pyramid pose on the left side. So the ball of the right foot maybe adjusts. Take an inhale to find length and exhale, ribs to thighs. Right hip forward, left hip back. Tune into what that conversation of the mind is saying to you. Is the ego here telling you, guiding you? Or is the body? Take an inhale, and as you exhale, wiggle that back foot back, coming into your low lunge. Feel as though you're peeling the chest forwards and up. On your next exhale, pivot towards your right, finding that Skandasana. Second time here, maybe you want to give the balance a go. That's your choice. On an inhale, push into that left foot, coming through the center and all the way to Skandasana at the back of the mat. Left toes to the sky. Inhale and exhale, pivot towards your right, coming into that low lunge. Find any variation here that you need to. Feeling as though the upper body and the lower body are drawing away from one another. So you've got that greater stretch down the front of the left hip. On an exhale, push the hips up and back and adjust your feet as necessary to come into pyramid pose. On your next inhale, peel the left hand up towards the sky, maybe resting the right hand onto the shin or a block. And just note, are you resting the right hand, if you get your words out, Siobhan, or are you leaning? How does it feel if you were to let go of the right hand? What support is that right arm giving you? On an inhale, push up and pivot on the feet, sinking into your goddess pose. I'm going to hold here for 5 breaths. Try not to judge the posture. Just remain with the breath, using the breath like an anchor to remain present. On your next inhale, push into the heels, straighten the legs, step into the top of the mat, clasp the hands, take a lean towards your right, lean to center and over to left. Inhaling to center, exhale, hands to heart. Flowing through a really gentle salutation all the way to child's pose, or you can just go straight there if that's what your body's calling for. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale, taking it back to child's pose. Allowing for the Ajna chakra, third eye chakra, to just rest the center of the forehead on the mat in your child's pose. Knees can be together or wide apart. Becoming aware of where you're breathing into the body. Checking in with the mind. And taking the mind on a scan around the body. Asking yourself, what do I feel? How do I feel? And try not to judge or assign any emotions. Just notice. On your next inhale, slowly lift your weight up. Rock over onto your seat and bring the legs out in front of you. Flexing the feet up and towards the face. Grounding down, root down through the sitting bones. Feel as though you're lifting the kneecaps up towards the pelvis. And on an exhale, bring the bottom ribs towards the thighs. So you're taking a really active Paschimottanasana. And just ask yourself, is this posture any different to when I did it at the beginning of the class? On an inhale, slowly peel your way up. Coming through Navasana. Take a bend in the knees if that's right for you, or maybe you prefer taking straight legs. That's not for me. So just take what's right for you. Acknowledge. Let it be. So that's tune into what the mind is telling you as you hold this posture. Quite a strong posture after those flowing sequences that we've done. Try to challenge what the mind is saying, what the body's saying. Try to find softness. Taking 5 more breaths here. On your next exhale, slowly release down onto your back. Take a moment here to pause, to acknowledge your strength. Setting yourself up for bridge pose. Soles of the feet to the floor. Feet and knees hip distance. And as you push into the soles of the feet, the hips lift. The more you push into the feet, the more the glutes will squeeze. Maybe you come up onto the shoulder heads and clasp the hands behind the back. And take your drishti to the belly. And just watch the rise and fall with each breath. On an exhale, release the shoulders, release the hands, ripple through the spine. Finding neutral spine for a moment. Maybe you hug the knees into the chest. Maybe you take a happy baby here. Returning to neutral, releasing the feet if you had them in happy baby. Taking a supine twist, so any variation here. For me, I prefer to cross the knees over, take my hips to one side and my knees to the opposite. Might that be too much for you, and that's okay. Simply let the knees roll over to one side. On an inhale, lift up to center and switch sides, taking the same twist that you did on the opposite side. Inhale to lift up to center and exhale, release. I'm going to invite you to come into Viparita Karani for your final posture. Or maybe that's not for you this evening, and that's okay. You can just go straight to Shavasana. So taking your mat, you can go with your mat and stay, it's up to you. So you're coming to legs up the wall. Super elegant to get into and out of, but it's beautiful once you're there. So get your booty as close to the wall as you can, lying down and let the legs come up. It's a really good place to find some kind of stillness for this practice of Svadhyaya, and to just draw inwards, to just be with your senses and your breath. Your first assignment: willingly listen inward for the voice of your inner teacher and learn. Be assured and know that you can relax inside now and rest, for you are safe and far from danger. There is no hurry. Walk easy, but use your time intelligently. Eagerly want and gladly accept the inner guide. Desire, listen for, welcome and embrace your communion with me. This is what you used to refer as my little voice. This is your intuitive knowing, your contact with me, and should be considered quite distinct from any feelings of guilt. Listen to your little wee voice and let what was temporarily smothered come to the surface to re-emerge with renewed strength. Your first assignment is to discover what you want. Clarify your deepest longings. Clarify what's important. Discover this for yourself by listening inwardly. Simply become quiet and still, then gently pay attention. Watch, listen, as your deepest motivations float into your conscious awareness. I invite you now to stay either exactly as you are, or if it's your preference to move into Shavasana, and make that transition now. This is your choice, how you want to end your practice. Wherever you are, allow the body to just be. Gradually begin to bring your awareness back to your surroundings, visualizing the body in the room that you're in whichever position you find yourself in. Become aware once more of your senses. Becoming aware of the air above, the earth below. Becoming aware of the breath. Beginning to take deeper breaths. And in your own time, start to make movements throughout the body. Hugging the knees in towards the chest in your own time. And rolling over onto whichever side feels most natural. Taking that final moment of stillness there to reflect on your practice, to reflect on your breath, to reflect on our collective intention. Svadhyaya, self-study, turning in, trusting our intuition. Acknowledging your own personal intention if you set one. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh out of the mouth and begin to push up onto your seat. Bringing the hands together at heart center. Deep breath in and sigh out. Breathing in to chant. Bowing the forehead towards the fingertips. Breathing in, send yourself love and gratitude. Breathing out, send love and gratitude to another being. Thank you for joining me this evening. Lovely to see you.